There is a dramatic difference in catalog control between Microsoft Word and FrameMaker, as we'll see here. We've just opened up the styles catalog for Microsoft Word, and if I simply click into an individual character, I can change this to heading 1 or heading 2 or heading 3, or perhaps I may decide that I want to change this back to the title, which it was originally. However, you'll notice that it's very easy and it's possible for me to inadvertently apply paragraph styles to individual words. For instance, I could select the word title and apply a heading 2 or heading 3 or heading 4. And the reason for this is because this is actually a hybrid or combination catalog that combines paragraphs and character styles together, which is less than desirable for having good structure. Another issue with Microsoft Word is that if somebody does do some rather unusual change to the text, perhaps on the font level, there may be someone who can only think of it making this text fit by changing the scale or the spacing. Perhaps they change it to 98%. And that text, of course, looks very, very similar. There's no real way to search for any place that the text has changed. This is quite different in FrameMaker, as you'll see shortly. First of all, FrameMaker actually has 4 distinct catalogs, and we'll demonstrate each one of them. I'm going to start by actually taking the text and scrolling up a bit where we can see a heading right here. And you'll see that we actually have a paragraph catalog, a character catalog for individual styles. We also have a table catalog. And we also have something completely new, which is an object catalog for graphics. Let's start out with working with a paragraph. If we wanted to change this paragraph style, we could change it from heading 1 to heading 2, perhaps to a run-in style. And you'll see that we'll do each of those things. Let's go back to heading 1. Now, if I were to go in here and to select just one word, as we did earlier in Microsoft Word, if I clicked on body, it will automatically change the entire paragraph to body because I'm using the paragraph catalog. I'll simply go ahead and do an edit undo to restore that back to normal. Just undo the paragraph format change. So if I want to make individual words look different, I do that with the character catalog. For instance, I may want to apply what's called emphasis to make the text look italic. Or I even could select a style I've made up called small caps, which will put the text into small caps. This can all be removed by applying the default style, as I'm doing here. You'll also see, moving down the page a little bit here, in fact I'll make it a bit smaller so we can see it better, we have 2 tables. And we actually have a table catalog that will allow us to control those easily as well. So for instance, I'm going to take this first table and try some of the different styles on it. Right now I believe it's a parts table. I could change it into a price table, which gives it these various colors, format A, format B, or back to a parts table. And by the way, when you have these different styles, for instance in here we're in the parts table, as I add columns, you'll see that it will automatically apply the colors of the styles for me. Furthermore, we also have the ability to work with what are called object styles. And I actually have 2 different object styles defined. One of them happens to be called elephant, which is a bit odd, and this is for these typewriter pictures here. And I also have something that will change the angle of the graphic if I wish. So normally, somebody would go through a lot of steps to change the placement of a graphic, something that's not easy to do in Microsoft Word. In FrameMaker, we've actually applied this elephant style to each of the anchored frames that we see here. So I'm going to go into graphics and go into the object style designer, and I'm going to choose the elephant style and go to the properties of an anchored frame. You can see that each one is going below the paragraph right now. I'm going to command them all to simultaneously run into the paragraph and also to tuck themselves into the right hand side. And as I do this, as I say that I want to take the elephant style, run into the paragraph, and go ahead and run on the right hand side and do update all, you'll see that it does exactly that. There. That's actually made my change for me. Furthermore, one other thing that we can do is individual objects inside of the anchored frame can be changed as well. I have applied a style called angle to each one of these typewriter photos, and if I wish to change that through the graphic style designer, I can do that as well. I'm simply going to pull this over and select angle, and in this particular case I'm actually interested in where the rotation takes place. You can see right now that it has a value of 0. I'm going to change this to 33 degrees counterclockwise just to see what that looks like and do an update all. And as I do this update all, you'll see that it has changed it where I've applied it. If I decide to apply the style to further graphics as I'm doing here, I can simply click on angle, and I can click on angle, and you'll see that they will all change universally. Finally, let's restore this back to the way we had it before by simply going back into the Object Style Designer, and one more time we're going to go ahead and change the rotation that we have here from this degrees to 0 and do update all. And as I do that, you can see that everywhere I've applied that graphic style, the change has happened globally and automatically. So for review, paragraph, characters, tables, and graphic objects each have their own catalog, which gives you much more strength within FrameMaker. Finally, because we have so much power with these catalogs, you also have the ability to search for overrides that people may have made to the text. And if you look closely here, you'll see that I've got one paragraph that somebody has clearly made small caps. This paragraph has slightly different word spacing, etc. So if we go into our search menu, one of the things we could do is we could say we want to find any paragraph that doesn't match the catalog. As we find each one, I can say change it, and that puts it back to normal. Then I can find another one and I can say change it, and you can see that the small caps goes away. Find another one and I can say change it, and that also has gone back to normal. Finally, I do know that there's at least one place up here where the text looks funny. It's obvious at a glance that somebody has taken this text and changed the spread on it. So you also can search for changes on the character format as level as well. I'm going to find that and simply change it back to normal, and that has automatically restored it to the style that comes from your catalog. So as you can see, you have tremendous control over consistent formatting in documents created by different people.